John, Lyle, thanks very much for joining us today. Lots of exciting things happening in Kamloops, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, without me rambling on, I'll let you guys kind of introduce what we're going to be talking about today, which is, like I say, something that is very exciting and will change the way pro-am soccer looks in Kamloops.
Today really is about the merging of two clubs. And today is Kamloops Youth Soccer and Rivers FC merging into what we consider to be one big super club. And so we're really excited to announce that today Kamloops Youth Soccer and Rivers FC will be coming under the brand of Kamloops United Football Club.
What does that merger mean for, first of all, people in the community, people that are going to be gauging in your club?
Yeah, this is the really exciting part. We're really building something here where we can have a comprehensive player pathway starting from U3 all the way to the semi-pro of League1 BC. And this is the opportunity that, has been very difficult here in the BC interior with only one BCSPL franchise existing 2.5 hours away. And so now having a full development pathway here within the local community is a major, major opportunity for us.
I mean, what we've been trying to build here, the last 10 years is the opportunity for players to follow one pathway, being able to go to the next levels. There hasn't been any continuity in that, especially in a small area like Kamloops. Now with Lyle coming on board and David Osted, and we're finally getting to the point where the vision that we wanted to have players be able to play till they're 17, 18 and on. Most players were quitting at 14, 15 because they didn't see a path to get any further. Now we're building all those paths for them. We're filling all those gaps from U3 to the semi-professional level so we can keep players into the game, but also for those high performance players that want to try and go play professionally. And whatever that looks like in the game, it's changed so much. There's so many opportunities for players to go all over the world now, and we're creating those opportunities for them with not just what we're doing with our merger here, but also all the contacts and stuff that we're building throughout the world. So we're creating something for these players, both male and female, to try and get to the levels that they want, and that's something that's really exciting.
There's going to be an impact on staff, coaches, etc., and people that perhaps, like you say, there's going to be a pathway for away from being on the field as well. So talk us through that. What's that impact going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, as we continue to grow, and Lyle can, talk on the administrative side, but for us, it's not just about developing players, it's about developing coaches as well, creating opportunities for these coaches to be able to go to the highest level that they can. It was even very difficult at certain points to get coaches their certification. And now we're going to be able to do that, give them opportunities to coach at the highest levels that they can, and which is going to help our players. I mean, it's going to be very comprehensive in what we're looking to do. And, Lyle and all the guys at KYSA and the youth club have done a great job of starting to set the table for this. And we're still in very early stages right now. So, he can speak more to the administrative side, but it's going to include players, coaches, and hopefully referees.
Yeah, further to John's point, that really is it. This is a fully comprehensive development plan in terms of players, coaches, administrative, and also officials. And so we really want to touch every aspect of the game and provide opportunities for development. We've been really fortunate in Kamloops to have officials who've achieved the highest levels officiating in youth World Cups and women's World Cups. And so we have great mentorship in this community, and we're building this club based on the experience of people here locally that can add value to the kids who aspire to work in the game, play in the game, or officiate in the game.
What are your ambitions then? You've said about pathway, etc., but how is this going to look, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? How do you grow from here?
Yeah, our ambitions are big, Matt. And so this isn't just about development and a pathway. It's a full ecosystem with facilities, infrastructure. One of the things that we really address here locally is that infrastructure is a major issue in Canadian development. And so facilities is we have an amazing partner with the city of Kamloops who's worked with us already on our indoor facility, but we have aspirations in the next 2 to 5 years to do more. And so full-size indoor facilities, turf fields, lights, everything here in our community to ensure that kids can train 12 months of the year here within a comprehensive development plan.
Great. Now, one of the other aspects is a rebrand. So the club Rivers is going to look a lot different for in League1 BC, moving to Kamloops United. So talk us through that rebrand, the inspiration behind it, and yeah, what that all means.
Yeah, this is an exciting one. We have our AGM at Kamloops Youth Soccer today. The big announcement will be going out this evening. But the excitement here really for us has been about creating a unified standalone club. And so we really wanted to do something, but at the same time, pay homage to our history here in the community. We didn't want to build something that wasn't cognizant of the shoulders that we walk on. So built within the club crest is a lot of our history. Some little things built in there, some character pieces that kind of really share the history, the rich history that Kamloops has from footballing. In the last several decades, we really have lost some of that, and we need to get as much of it back, both from a historical perspective, but people as well. And so Kamloops United Football Club, it will be officially underway tomorrow.
Brilliant. So why United? What does that mean and signify for you guys?
United was really a crucial piece for us. And so when I came into the community and John kind of really helped transition me into what I was coming into, what the expectation was, what our shared vision was here for growth. And it really was, and it's a word we use with intent, and we use it a lot, is building an ecosystem. But an ecosystem is something that requires a shared vision, a plan, and unity. And so, we look to build something not here for us. This is for the community. This is for Kamloops. And so every kid in our community and the local surrounding area will have access to this program. This program is really here now to unite the footballing community within Kamloops and the surrounding area to provide the opportunities that we've been talking about earlier.
We're talking about a very large area here, and Kamloops in the interior and north has been somewhat isolated, obviously from the big center of Vancouver, and sometimes overlooked in certain areas. Sometimes it just the way it is geographically, but for us, there's a lot of talent, even in northern British Columbia, that's not getting the opportunity. So we want to provide those players higher up north, even in the Yukon and Northwest Territories, an opportunity, to help develop and get to those next levels as well. So we have to not only unite and not work in silos here in Kamloops in the interior, but in the north of British Columbia as well.
So there's definitely a sense here of being something that's a lot bigger than previously what you have been, and representing a bigger area and more people. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I moved to Kamloops to go to university to play at that time UCC, now TRU Wolfpack, and I was one of those kids. I came from Kitimat, BC, way up on the north coast. I came as a walk-on. I had no idea they even had a soccer team. That's how remote the access was back then. And so, John knows this intimately well, being a head coach at a university, understanding with kids coming into this community that there's a huge opportunity for us to build to something much, much bigger, where we can build programs for kids to be able to come from the remote areas, have a full training facility access, billeting program, BCSPL access, the ability for us to do stuff here because of our geographic center in the province is an amazing opportunity.
And to add, for me being kind of born and raised in Kamloops as well, we were, a geographic outpost from a footballing perspective as well. And Lyle comes from an even smaller community. So for us, we understand what it's like to come from smaller communities and maybe not have the opportunities that maybe a kid from Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto is going to have. So I think we understand kind of what it takes to put the work in and develop now to be able to pass this on to the kids of this generation, like myself, who never had the opportunity, 40 years ago, to be able to give this to them now, I think is a pretty great thing.
How do you want the community to react to obviously the news that you are putting out about the rebrand and the community merger, or the club merger, sorry? How can people get involved? What's kind of a call to action if someone was like, yeah, this is something that I want to be a part of? How can someone do that?
This, in the same way Kamloops always does. Kamloops is a special place. You just don't find the type of support like you do in Kamloops. When there's projects or initiatives here in this town, everyone gets behind it. And so we're super excited to make the announcement out to the community and really embrace people coming in from a volunteer perspective, coaching perspective, mentorship as well. We also need corporate engagement. You know, these programs don't run independently. We know the cost to provide programs has gone up. And so there's so many different ways that people can be involved with the club. And so more insight will be provided on our website in the coming days. But yeah, we know Kamloops always rises to support, local sports.
How do you then? Rivers has been a big part of League1 BC for the last, since League1 BC was founded. So how does Kamloops United now build on that and that kind of legacy, as it were, as a founding member?
Well, I think it's a continuation of what we've been doing, and now we can enhance it. I think we've built a good base, and I know there was a little bit of consternation, and because Rivers had a really good brand, but I think when you're doing something completely new, and I think this is just an evolution. I think this is the next step forward, and it's only going to be better, bigger, and stronger as far as I'm concerned. And just kind of going back to what Lyle said, you know, uh, Kamloops is a great city, and I think there's a lot of momentum and positivity building on what we've done so far, over the last kind of 3 or 4 years. So I really feel a lot of people are going to be excited, are going to jump on board with what we're doing, and we're just going to build something that's going to be strong for the next, 30 to 40 years.